now tuned in to WSTU.
You have now tuned in to WSTU Radio.
What's up, my beautiful black kings and queens? This is your girl Maria and Shanti bringing you Talking Back, Thinking Womanism, and Thinking Black on WSTU. This is Clark Atlanta University's only morning radio show, and why not start our day with what's been going on in our crazy society today? We have our list to discuss today. Bernie Sanders having a heart attack, Amber Guyger trial, and how she gained sympathy from the victim's brother and the judge, Tammy Kemp. We also have Oprah and how she donated $13 million to Morehouse College, and also she donated $1 million to the United Negro College Fund. And also we're going to talk about the one and only Tyler Perry and he's technically in his prime, Shanti. Like, you seen what Tyler Perry been doing? Like, big moves. But stay tuned. This is Talking Back, Thinking Womanism, and Thinking Black on WSTU radio station, the station for the students. But right after this music break, we'll come back to you guys and spill the tea on what's been going on in the society.
You know I'm listening to WSTU.
Welcome back, guys. This is Talking Back, Thinking Womanism, Thinking Black on the one and only WSTU. Today, we'll be talking to y'all about Bernie Sanders' heart attack. Did y'all see that?
Man, Bernie Sanders having a heart attack. It's just so ironic. Like,
speaks to his age, bro. Speaks to his age. And, you know, it's something we really got to think about realistically. So last week, if y'all didn't know, Bernie Sanders had a heart attack in Nevada while he was on a campaign trail. Turns out he's been pushing himself a little bit too hard. And as you know, when you get there up in age, he is 74, by the way. But as you get up there in age, you know, you can't do physically what you need to. You know, you got to slow down a little bit, take your time. We all got grandparents. We know what it's like. But you think this is going to affect his presidential standings, his possibilities of becoming president? You know, think people won't second guess him because of his age?
Well, I thought he was 78. Like, what I read, he was 78 years old. And I'm like, you're going to have a president that's almost 80, like, try to run your country. Yeah, you tried to lower his age rate, and I'm like, nah, he's 78. But like all the well, our president now, he's in his 70s as well, and I feel like not no 70
when he was elected, right?
Yeah, he was 70 when he was elected, and I feel like Bernie Sanders, he just needs to slow down. Like, if you having heart attacks because of this election, maybe you don't need to be a part of this election.
And now he did say, his campaign manager did say that they would be backing up and that they would be running it more like a marathon or less like a sprint. So up until his heart attack, Bernie had been doing 6 meetings a day, about 3 rallies, a bunch of town meetings. You know, you turn on the news, all you see is Bernie Sanders here, Bernie Sanders there. So he had been putting his face out there. So they're going to slow that back a little bit.
People been feeling the burn. They've been feeling the burn, but I haven't felt the burn. I'm sorry. I'm not in for Bernie Sanders. I'm more for Elizabeth Warren. Like,
now,
that's
my girl.
That's my girl.
And not to say that's my girl, but if out of all the candidates, that's our best bet.
That's honestly our best bet. And people don't even know. Like, Bernie Sanders said out his mouth that he does not want to give black people reparations right now. Like, what? Like, that's what threw me completely off. Like, how did you march with us in the civil rights movement? And you stood with us. You saw what was going on during the civil rights era, but you don't want us to get what's been offered, like what's been taken away from us. Like, the least that we can have as a black community is reparations given to us.
And when you look at his voting record, he does have a 9% missing for his roll call, which is a little bit higher because the average for the senators in federal government is about 1.5, so around 2%. Mm-hmm. So he's missing way more than that. And again, back to speaking on his age, as an older man, you cannot always get up and make it to these votes. But that also means if you have to worry about your health, you might not be worrying about your constituents, about your citizens. And also to go on that, he has voted nay on tax relief and unemployment insurance acts before in 2010 and previous times. He has been a senator of Vermont for a very long time. What has he actually been able to do? How many bills has he actually sponsored or been part of? He is part of about 8 committees, but what are those committees really doing? for
and
the
people
country.
want to feel the burn, but I'm not for it. I'm not for the burn.
I can't live off him just talking.
I'm telling you, he like another Hillary to me. Like, he an older version of Hillary. And his story has been changing ever since, like, he's been advertised as a presidential candidate. Like, I like consistency. And I like people that stick to their word and go about it. Now, Elizabeth Warren, like, I'm going to bring up my girl again. I feel like the stuff that she's done, it shows through her election platform. Like, I feel like she will get stuff done, and I would not mind her being the first woman president of the United States.
And you know what I appreciate about her? She has a whole law degree. She was actually a professor, a law school professor, before she became senator. She has backing, and she sits on the committee for one of the financial committees that we have regarding. So when we're talking about the United States, our budget is a mess. Economically, we need some help. And who better to get help from than somebody who went to school, got a whole degree in law and finances and economics. Like,
and the difference between her and Obama, he went to school for economics, don't get me wrong, but he did not get us out of that debt gap that we do have. Like, it's all about budgeting.
And we talk about Trump, and yeah, Trump is not helping with that budget, but he's
definitely not. Have you seen? He's over here trying to cut off, like, trades in foreign countries and stuff. Like, we got a gas problem now because of him, and like, it's just so crazy to me that they elected this man, and in the works of trying to impeach him, like, I wouldn't even waste time impeaching this man. He's
on his way out. Just don't re-elect him. Can we focus on not re-electing him?
Like, the impeachment process does not mean that he gets kicked out of office, and I hope everybody knows that. Like, I'm not gonna pay my tax dollars trying to get this man impeached. He's gonna go in a few months anyway.
To the kids in the schools, to this health insurance that I need help with, to my private dentistry, because these teeth need help too. I mean, come on. The last thing I'm thinking about is militarization, because that's all our budget is going to. It's going to military, and it's been going this way
for the longest. Since the World Wars, half of our money has been going to military, and what have we done? We've basically moving backwards. Like, it's nothing. Like, everybody that's trying to speak up and say that they fake woke, knowing well they sleepwalking. They don't really know what's actually going on in society. Like, half of our budgeting is going towards military. It's not going to education. And that's one thing I like about Elizabeth Warren, because she's the first one that stood on trying to get the United States students that are in college debt free. She was the first one that speak on it, but now everybody trying to jump on the train of trying to forgive student loans.
It's a good bandwagon to be on.
No, Elizabeth Warren said it first.
Bandwagon.
She
people
said
love
it first.
It gets people to come to their campaign. But back to the militarization, I'm glad we brought it up. So as you know, the U.S. military withdrew troops from the Turkish border, Turkey and Syria. Today, this morning, or at least their morning, it's just getting to us. Turkish troops have entered into Syria. They're on their way, and as we know, U.S. military is nowhere to be seen. So if we really are militarized to help prevent conflict, to help democracy, why would we withdraw troops? Why?
Question mark.
Because our military works for us.
Our military work is supposed to be for us. They're supposed to fight for us and stand for us.
But they're working for the profit of them. We'll see where that conflict goes. We'll talk to y'all more as we get more information on that.
Yeah. But next, we're going to talk about the Amber Guyger murder trial. Now, Amber Guyger, now let me tell y'all. Let me tell you the story of actually what went down last year. So Amber Guyger, she was an ex-Dallas police officer that supposedly mistaken her apartment for another person apartment his name is Botham Jean, and she entered his house, his place of residence. Mind you, she's thinking that she's in her apartment, and shot this man cold-bloodedly in his own crib. Mind you, police officer, off-duty police officer, using her weapon that she's supposed to be using on duty. She basically murdered this man in his own home while he was sitting there eating ice cream. Now, How do you feel about, first of all, how do you feel about this story now? Because the story, when I first heard about it, it was fishy. It was fishy. It was straight out the Jules Osco fish market.
Her not knowing that was not her apartment, that just doesn't sit right to me. You know your own home. You know your own home.
I don't care how tired you were or
and like
how...
they said, one of the evidence they had in the trial was the fact that there is no coffee table in his room, in his home, but there's a coffee table in your room. Now, no matter how tired you are, would you not remember if there's no coffee table in your living room?
And we stay in dorms, like dorm rooms. Like, we know where to go and how to get to our rooms.
I can enter into a room and know that's not my room, even though we all got the same furniture.
We all got the same furniture, the same setup.
And she was coming from off duty, so that means she wasn't on no drugs. She couldn't have, or shouldn't have. She shouldn't have been drinking, none of that. She was coming back just from a regular day of work.
And a regular day of work turned into a murder scene.
What she do at her?
A murder scene. And to find out, she was sleeping with her partner, who is married, her police officer partner, and she was texting this man during the murder and after. Sexual text messages, like relaying sexual text messages to this man, like after the shooting happened, like nothing happened in her life.
No regret,
no remorse, no nothing. And that was like advertised later that she acted like nothing happened. And I'm like, you shot a man cold-bloodedly in his own apartment and you still having an affair? Like, come on now. Like, people's minds are just, it's not. And her trial just recently happened last week, and she was found guilty of murder, yes, and the jurors only gave her 10 years.
And you know what? When I first heard she was going to trial, I was feeling iffy. Then I got excited. I saw the judge. I saw the 3 of the jurors. I saw everyone who was surrounding her. Right, the witnesses. I said, she's going to jail.
She's going to jail. When
they said they would sentence her, I was so excited. And for a minute, when they came out with the 10 years, I was kind of like, damn, only 10 years. But I was still excited. Till I found out that she is appealing her sentencing. She is appealing her sentencing from at home, just chilling. Why? Because Texas state law says that if you are sentenced with less than 15 years, you can appeal it from home. And as you know, Maria, how long do appeals take?
Appeals takes a long, that's a process. That's a process. That's a process of appealing. And you know what the jurors, I read what the jurors said, that giving her the full 28 years was too harsh and it wasn't in her character. So you mean to tell me you deliberated two hours, you guys decided to give this woman 10 years and only 10 years for something. First of all, she trespassed. It wasn't her house. It wasn't her apartment. That should be a charge. The second charge, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Like, come on now. And then murder. I'm sorry. I'm definitely sorry, but she should have went down more than 10 years. And I know people that got more. The woman in Florida that had tried to warn her boyfriend or husband by airing off 2 shots. She got more than that. I think she got like 20 years in Florida. Like the
woman who shipped her son to a different school district to get better education got more years than her.
These celebrities, the Auntie Becky and all that, ain't getting nothing. But you gave the young
juror who overslept and was late to his
jury
10
duty.
days.
10 days.
Couldn't just reassign him. It wasn't in his character to oversleep, but he ain't get reassigned to a new case. He got 10 days in jail.
And
so you telling me y'all couldn't give her more than 10 years?
And then the judge hugged her at the end, and they all shared an emotional response to what was going on. And I'm like, this is not justice. This is not no peace. This is not justice, and this is not peace. And then the brother, he told the court on the stand that she don't deserve the treatment that she's getting. Like, I'm sorry. I don't know. I think so. You probably can say it.
That's some cool stuff to me. I'm gonna leave it at that, because you're sitting here, you're embracing, and I get it. Some people do, but literally, the murder happened less than. It hasn't been years. She hasn't even had to serve sentencing, and you're already forgiving her for the murder of your brother.
I quote. He says, "I love you as a person. I don't wish anything bad on you." Who saying stuff like that?
I wish
You
the devil
killed
would come
my
down.
brother. You
Right.
killed
Personally,
my
I would
brother.
wish the devil would come down to sentence her. Because how dare you? How dare you? And I feel like everyone keeps saying this out of her nature, but as a police officer, you are a model to the community. So that is a standard. So if a police officer, a standard in the community, can get off 10 years, what does that mean?
That means that it was never the police system and the whole judicial system wasn't even set up for us. It wasn't, and this blatantly proves that it was not set up for us because you decided you basically sentenced this woman after 2 hours of deliberating, but it took her less than 10 minutes to kill this man. And you only gave him justice of 2 hours of deliberating.
And
that's
what this reminded me of?
Hmm.
And this is some back home, but it reminded me of the Laquan McDonald case where
It
the
does.
officer only got sentenced to about 6-ish years. And again, he can be up on parole soon. So to me, that's like when it comes to officers.
In Dallas, she's only allowed, to get parole, I believe she only has to serve 5 years. 5 years of her sentence?
No cop has ever served really more than less than 10 years, definitely less than 10 years in jail. They do not let police officers go down like this. And yet, so we keep asking them, and we go to proper routes of civil or criminal courts to get these judges to be upheld, and they are not upheld. If the law is for the people, then use it for the people. Because at the end of the day, a police officer is part of the state. You work for the government.
You work for us. We're paying you.
And yet you killed us.
You kill us in the street. Not even in the street, in our own home. R.I.P. to Botham and Jean. That's all I have to say. And I hope and I pray that you did live the life that you fulfilled your duties here on this earth. Because I hate how black men and not even black women and black people in general are getting shot up in the street with our arms up, and people just go so blind to it. It's nothing. It's a reoccurring issue that has not been solved. The little white kids can shoot up a school and get a whole movement, but when black people try to start a movement, we're labeled terrorists and we're labeled this and we're labeled thugs, and all we do
we
is
don't support our
riot.
And the Parkland students had support. Nobody was really holding them back. A couple of NRA groups.
But you know what they did? You know what? Them kids stood there at the deliberation tables and talk to these people that are in office. Did you see those? They gained respect, and I'm like, we tried, and we need to try a little harder. Because I'm like, how you let high schoolers have more of an impact than what we've been doing? We've been saying don't shoot, I want to grow up for years. We've been saying Black Lives Matter for years, and we are still dying in the street, and that's what's crazy.
What's the judicial work that we see ourselves doing? That's really what matters. Because as much as we can yell and protest, if we don't make some actual legal initiatives towards change, towards enacting laws that protect us, nothing will get done.
Nothing will get done. It'll just be a bunch of
complaining.
That's literally all that it looks like, but it's not that. Black Lives Matter is a powerful movement that should be bigger than what it is. They need to find their purpose and what they want to relay to society, I feel like, and that's one of the reasons why I feel like that's been what's been holding them back. They haven't found a groundskeep of what actually needs to be done. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. What laws and what regulations and what policies needs to be passed.
What's the actual change they want to see?
What change, instead of I don't want police officers to shoot me up. Okay, so what in the police system do you want change? Do you want different trainings? Do you want a whole new police department? Especially, and that's
what are the consequences if they do shoot someone innocently?
And that's the thing. You need to start changing policy and stop trying to advocate for something that does not have a grounds. You gotta find out what you want.
You have to be realistic about what justice you can get.
And I love Black Lives Matter, but we need to work together and try to find those lawyers and try to find those politicians that are in favor of us, and to get those people to represent us in these elections. Because that's the only way anything will bring about change, is you giving us. If we basically are the rulers of what's going on in our community and our society, right? We have to elect people that's supposed to so-called represent us. We have our governors, we have our mayors, we have our board of education people. We elect those people, and people don't realize that you have to start showing up to the polls, and you have to start electing people.
And it starts
from
a local level as well.
It does. It starts from local communities.
Federal level, and it is. Federal level is very difficult to get to. However, that's not the only way to make change. I feel like everyone, same thing with the presidential elections versus the state elections. People feel like if they're not making a big change, they're not making no change. But it all starts with making small changes. You elect a new alderman, elect a new school of education or board.
Create after school programs for kids.
Right, even if it's only one or two schools.
Keep
you can
these
inspire
kids busy.
change. You can
Keep
say the next person
busy.
to do the same thing.
And not only that, we can also write letters to the to our offices that are in charge,
you can
the
go visit
governor's
them.
office.
You don't even gotta write a letter. You can go visit them.
You can go visit them. You can.
They are available.
Everything.
For you.
And I'm like, black people just need to start taking initiative, and that's what I want to do. I want to bring about change in our community. I want to start rallying up people, not just to riot and scream and protest. We need to bring about change. We need to know what we want, and how we gonna get to what we need,
and how we want it served.
Basically. But this is
the details before you ask. You're not gonna show up to your mom's and ask her for you want to go out to eat and not know which restaurant you want to go eat.
Basically, that's basically all the problem is. We know it's a corrupt system, and we know that it needs to be changed. But we need to figure out how we need to go by making that change. But this is Talking Back, Thinking Womanism and Thinking Black. We'll be right back after this music break. This is on WSTU, the station for the students. This is Maria Speaks, and I'm with Shanti, and we'll be back.
Hey guys,
we're back now. After our little break, we had a little juke jam break. You know it is. But now we're going to talk about Oprah.
Some things a little bit closer to home too.
Yes, my girl Oprah. I love Oprah, and I loved her since she was Harpo. You told Harpo to beat me. You told Harpo to beat me. But no, all jokes aside, she been doing her thing. She been dropping bread. But
is she dropping it where we need it though?
Yeah, that's the true question. But she really is. Last week she had announced at the I'm trying to think of what fundraiser was it. It was in North Carolina.
Wasn't it a women's
it was the Maya Angelou Women Who Lead luncheon. Mm-hmm. And she announced that she was dropping $1 million to the United Negro College Fund. And that's dope, because I was the one that was signing up for those little scholarships, and I'm glad she gave them $1 million so I can give me a little bit more change, heading my way to college.
Just a small loan of $40,000, please.
Yeah, just a little small, not even a loan,
just a crumb.
I just want 50K. 50K will be okay.
Solve all
with
my
me.
problems.
It would, but the other day she came by Morehouse. Nobody wanted to tell nobody.
Right.
About
quiet as his cat.
Who knew Oprah was finna be at Morehouse College? If I would have known
class.
Oprah, I'm telling you, if I would have known Oprah would have came here, best believe I would have been first in line. Cause that's like my god.
I would have caught her coming out.
I'm telling you, catch me outside, Oprah. But anyways, she donated to Morehouse College.
13 million, girl.
13 million. And that's
money.
That's money too.
She dropped a couple bags when she left.
She dropped a couple bags at Morehouse. I'm glad she missed Clark, but it's okay. I'm glad she's supporting the black community and the black HBCU experience. But money, that's a lot.
It is a lot.
That's
I had to double check all them zeros.
Yeah, because I was like 13. Oh wait, hold up now. That's a lot. And a lot of people have been dropping bread, like a lot of bread to Morehouse.
Right. Robert F. Smith, he dropped some money off at Morehouse
He
too.
planning on paying off the debts of the class of 2019 students and the debt of their parents. And he announced the debt of their parents. He's trying to pay off as well.
The parent loans that they have for their kids. Yeah.
That's
crazy. Because I promise you, my mom's, she over it.
I'm telling you, I should apply to Morehouse. I'm sorry, because
Gotta show up with a full beard and 3 different types of ties.
I'm telling you, with the Steve Harvey suit, you got
my little ball cap going on.
I'm telling you, with my Steve Harvey fit down to the T, I could be a Morehouse student. I could be a Morehouse woman. I'll be the final woman of Morehouse, you know. but yeah, a lot of bread's been dropped towards HBCUs and black students in general. Like, scholarships are very important. Like
Khalil Perry scholarship.
Like every scholarship counts. So I advise incoming freshmen and college students in general to apply as many scholarships.
And also reach
possible.
out to alumni. Like I mentioned earlier, Khalil Perry got his paid off by Miss Pinky of Slutty Vegan. That's amazing. That's dope. She covered about I don't remember exactly how many students, but she covered a lot of seniors' final balances. And she just started off. She just graduated out of Clark a couple years ago, less than a decade. She already helping out, paying it forward, helping other students that were in positions just like her. So
yeah, scholarships are amazing. Scholarships and grants, like that's what you're gonna need to be looking into, like especially in college and beyond, like grad school. If you want to go to law school, look up as many scholarships and apply to as many scholarships as you can. Like, I cannot make that any more clear. Scholarships is free money. All you have to do is apply, do your little essays, and call it a day. But it takes time. Like, applying for scholarships, you can't just apply to 2 scholarships and be like, oh, I applied to scholarships. That's not how that works. Like, if you want scholarships and if you want money, apply to as many as possible. Make that a priority. I'm telling you. I'm learning from experience. Apply to as many as you want and as many as you can. Especially if you're black, it's a whole lot of scholarship opportunities just because you're African American in the United States. And shout out to the United Negro College Fund. They have a lot. They just opened up a lot of scholarships just October. They dropped a lot of scholarships in October. And best believe I will be one of those people that's applying, like, after this show.
Like crazy.
Like, I'm telling you.
In between classes.
But next, we're going to talk about the one and only Tyler Perry.
Did you see that red carpet? Just a lot of beautiful black people.
Just black,
beautiful
my
black
goal.
people. Black
That's
excellence.
Like, Tyler Perry is me in the next, I say 10 years. I'm going to give myself 10 years. He created his own black Hollywood. He got the stars out, like, in his, like, he got like 4 studios now, right?
Yeah, and using all of them to give props back to the people who started him, the black men and women, actresses and actors
Literally.
who have uplifted him, who've been in his movies, been in his shows, helped support him. You know, he gave China McClain her own little star.
He gave all of his actors,
stages, right?
all of the actors that worked under Tyler Perry, he gave a star, including the cast of House of Pain, the cast of his movies like Tyler Perry, Dick Goes to Jail, the movie, and he even gave Rudy, what's her name, Miranda off of House of Pain, her own star. She's deserved it. She been deserved it. Like, I love giving back, and I condone Tyler Perry for not just making it about himself.
I really love this, especially because, you know, and I'll say, like, Tyler Perry and his movies, it's a certain niche group, but it's like he's using his power for what he did. He's made black movies. He's been that black producer, and yeah, he's got an acknowledgement from Hollywood, but he made sure to bring it back because we as a black community can't just live off the support of white Hollywood. We've had Oscars so white, and for what?
We can't.
Wait,
because
the people
you know
who
why?
elect Oscars, who are they? What do they look like?
They don't look like me. And all I'm saying is I'm glad that he used his platform for giving back, and he acknowledged everybody. He even named his, like, the parts of the studios, like the sound rooms and the film rooms, after people like Denzel Washington and Oprah Winfrey and different stuff like that. Spike Lee, like, he gave acknowledges to the black community, and I will forever be grateful, even though I have not worked with him one-on-one myself, Tyler, and I wish in the near future that I am able to partner up, and I have so many ideas. Like, I love Tyler Perry. I've seen all his plays, I've seen all of his movies more than 20 times. I'm not even gonna lie. I have a whole collection of Tyler Perry in my house, like back home in Chicago, a whole collection of Tyler Perry stuff. Like, anybody that knows me knows They'll Go to Jail to play. That was my favorite. I know that play word for word, like all the songs and everything word for word. And I condone Tyler Perry because he was actually nominated, well, not nominated, he was granted the star plaque in California. And that's what inspired him to make those star plaques in his own studio. He finally got his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and he turns around and made this grand opening of his studio. Have you seen the tour of that studio?
Yeah, it was
He
dope.
built his own White House.
It was
like, who does that? Tyler Perry. But anyways, that was like amazing. Like, he has so much potential to even go beyond of what he's doing now. Like, Tyler Perry, I love, like, that's who I aspire to be. Like, that's one of my big influencers, especially in the media entertainment field. Like, he's self-made. He's not man-made. Anything that he has done.
He's on your vision board, huh?
I'm telling you. And he's definitely on my vision board. Him and Oprah. They always been on my vision board. But he made his platform as an advocate, and not only an advocate, but he literally turned all of his movies and plays into a situation where it was talking about real life issues. And he made his cast very, very diverse. And it wasn't just about, his plays and movies aren't just about one specific thing. He relates back to religion, and he relates back to what's going on. Police brutality. He relates back to domestic violence. He relates back to real life situations. It's not like every movie of Tyler Perry isn't the same. It's always something different. Like,
he giving us
diversity, and that's what I love. I love his plays. Like, how you are your own playwriter, your own film person. You got TV shows on OWN and different. Now he got that new upcoming TV show on BT called The Oval, and that's why he has that White House
set.
Yeah, the White House set. Like, he's doing so much. So can't nobody make excuses for themselves saying that they can't get to where they got, because Tyler Perry did it. Tyler Perry was homeless. He was homeless.
And you know what? I hear that from a lot of celebrities, because if you saw Lizzo's Breakfast Club interview, she talked about homelessness as well. And I feel like that's something that you see a lot when people pursue their path, pursue their vision. When you don't have the support and you continue, and that's kind of like, that's a big obstacle to overcome, homelessness. But a lot of people, and they're living off their motivation, their goals, their passion. Like, that's all that's driving them towards what they're trying to do. And I feel like that is such an inspirational story, and that you hear from a lot of musicians, a lot of artists, a lot of entrepreneurs in the entertainment business, about how they just gave it up and they free fall into the love and passion of their vision.
Yes, but Tyler Perry, big ups to you, because you are someone that kids can now look up to. Like, we haven't had a person, especially a black person in the media field like now, that's giving back and doing stuff for the better good. The only person I could think of recently was Nipsey Hussle, and how after his death he was condoned for a lot of philanthropic stuff, like, in the communities. But I can't think of nobody else that's like been in the face of media that's been shifting and making changes happen.
The last one I can think of really is LeBron James and Kaepernick.
Yeah.
They were recently doing some stuff, but I also feel like when it comes to celebrities, if it's not entertainment, a lot of the stuff gets overlooked, and that goes back to our journalists and what they covering. Because there's a lot of celebrities who are moving in silence, giving back to the community, and
it's not being advertised
or acknowledged. But I feel like it should, because it's dope. 1 and 2, it makes their fan base. If you see a celebrity doing something, giving back, you want to give back as well, because you want to, we look up to them. In the United States, image is everything, and materialism is everything. So we look up to the people who have more than us. So them being able to inspire the community like that, I feel like that's really important. So it's good to acknowledge them for when they do for their efforts.
Yeah, but Tyler Perry, I'm telling you, like I said, big ups to you. Like, he's been an inspiration in my life for the longest, and I hope he continues and don't give up, especially in the world that we do live in today. It's been so much criticism towards him just because he's that diverse film and entertainment type of person. And he hasn't let nobody distract him, and he has not let anybody change his mind about his plans. And that's what I like about Tyler Perry. But anyways, we're gonna be right back after this music break. This is Talking Back, Thinking Womanism, Thinking Black on WSTU, the station for the students. This is Maria Speaks, and I'm with my girl Shanti, and we'll be right back.
Trying to catch sleep, trying to count sheets. Hot damn, hot water, hot shower.
We can go back after this.
Atlanta smoking green cauliflower.
What?
Tangerine, yeah, I call it sweet and sour. And my lawyer say it's urgent, I'ma call him in an hour. Dude, I just called a plug and his phone is unplugged.
This song, bro. I know he was drunk when he made it. He was like, "Woo!"
When I first heard it, I was like, "What is this?"
Dude.
And I was like,
I love
this
my wife. Oh no, this entire album, I tried listening to the whole thing to find maybe one I liked. It was new.
Damn hot water, hot shower. Hot Atlanta smoking green cauliflower. Tangerine, yeah, I call it sweet and sour. And my lawyer say it's urgent, I'ma call him in an hour.
Yeah, hop on the flight, Louis V off-white. I just made a dub, and she tryna spend a night. Heard they need more, yeah, my jeans Dior. Shawty got cake if you tryna eat more. Think they need more, I think they need more. This is second round, I'm tryna speed more. Going stupid, going crazy. Big cash in that Mercedes. Pull up lit, going 30. Pull up big, in a hurry. Shoot your shot, flex.
What up, y'all? It's your girl 7 Streeter, and when I'm on the campus of CAU, you know I'm listening to WSTU. Wow.
Hey guys. Hey y'all, we're back and we're gonna continue our discussion about the Amber Guyger trial. Maria, have you heard about what's going on with one of the key witnesses, Joshua Brown?
Yes, he was assassinated days after the trial. Many say that it was a drug-related case where a drug deal gone wrong.
They said that these men came from Louisiana to Dallas for weed. Now, who travels the whole state of Texas for some weed?
Like I said, it's just
the nick of and it just came out right after the trial, as she's going through her appeal sentencing as well. You know, she's trying to build up her evidence so she could get her sentence lowered. It just don't sit right with me. It don't even sound right.
Like a key eyewitness just passing like that, and it wasn't due to like natural causes. It was due to a so-called assassination, and eyewitnesses say
A murder.
that it was about 4 people.
Yeah, it was about 4 men, like I said.
4 men,
came
like
from Louisiana to Dallas
to
drug
just-
deal we were on.
To just kill one person.
And to me, that doesn't make no sense, because as a drug dealer, why would you want to play a key witness in a trial?
Why would you kill?
That's
a
not how
key
you move in the
witness?
streets.
That don't. And if you think about it, she was a police officer. And I watch a lot of TV shows, especially drama-filled TV shows. And I be knowing the police officers be having people underneath their belt to do dirty work for them. And I'm not saying that that's what happened, but that's what it's looking like to me. I'm sorry.
I mean,
just to clean up her dirty work. And I'm like, that should be investigated too, because just like you said, she is going through an appealing process, and he is an eyewitness of the aftermath of when she did kill Jean. Like, it's something not sitting right. And by him passing, when they announced that he passed, I'm like, you already know. I had to hit up the socials. I had to go on my Facebook timeline. I had to go on my Instagram timeline. I had to go on Twitter. I had to go on the news, CNN. I had to figure out,
put the pieces together with the news media ain't telling you.
And I'm like, it don't make sense and it don't add up. Like, days after somebody killed an eyewitness in a big case like this.
And like I said, it just doesn't make sense, because as a drug dealer, like not saying personally I'm a drug dealer, but just saying, as a drug dealer, why would you go serve as a witness? Why would you stand trial on a state level? Like, you can go to jail. You know they're going to be watching you. You know people are going to be looking at what you're doing because you are a key witness. So to me, that doesn't even sound right. I don't think he would have done that if he was truly dealing drugs. And with the whole it just happened to go wrong as she's appealing. That don't sound right.
It don't. And that's what people need to realize, that everything happens for a reason. And I feel like that wasn't a good reason. And that's not a good. I'm pretty sure everybody knows what's going on, especially regarding the trial. Why would you kill an eyewitness
of a trial?
Days after the sentencing. He in the spotlight. He was there with his Dragon Ball t-shirt on trial. Like, R.I.P. to him, but he sat there with his Dragon Ball t-shirt on. Everybody know him. Everybody.
And
like,
if they even turned on the news in the state, in a low motel, wouldn't you think twice about going to try to kill somebody who's being watched by the police? That don't sound right. They should have protected him more.
Nobody, right. Like, if you're an eyewitness in a police investigation,
you're supposed to be
you
protected.
need to be protected. And that's not, I'm not putting it into the fault of his, but he should have been more protected, even after the trial. Because I'm like, police officers are involved, and I don't think that should have been the case, like, regarding like to have his like death just be advertised like that. And I couldn't believe it. I was like, he was just
here.
Testifying.
He was just here.
He was just testifying, and now he's gone. So it's going to be irrelevant now, like his whole like testimony, like in her appeal case, because the eyewitness is dead. So if she does try to appeal, that was the key eyewitness. They can't use him again. So it worked out in her favor, I guess. And I don't know why she appealing. You killed the man. Suck it up. Do your time. You did the crime. I'm not understanding.
White people hate paying back for what they did.
I'm telling you, they just. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean it. No, girl, you killed the man. People kill people every day and be sentenced way more. You got hit with a lesser sentence. You need to be grateful. Like, if it was anybody else, if it was a black officer entering a home of a white woman,
try to appeal it.
It wouldn't even be an appeal. He would have been under the jail. That officer would have been under the jail and literally cut. But anyways, this is Maria Spearman, and I'm with my girl Shanti. This is Talking Back, Thinking Womanism, Thinking Black on WSTU. Shanti is going to close out today's show with one of our quote of the days.
So today's quote we have is from Leo Tolstoy. He's the author of War and Peace. And this comes from his book. It says, "The strongest of all warriors are these two, time and patience." So as you go about your day, as you struggle through this society, this patriarchal, white society, you struggling with midterms, you struggling to make a change, you struggling with personal life stuff, just think about that. You have it within you. Just have patience with yourself, have patience with life. Take some time to yourselves, take some time to think, to adjust, and be the strongest warrior you can be. This is Talking Back, and we'll be next week, same time, 10 o'clock on the dot, on the only student-ran radio. Talking Back, Thinking Womanism, Thinking Black. Thank y'all.